Millions of years ago, 90% of life on Earth vanished in a single devastating event. What caused it? And how did life fight its way back? The land masses we recognize today were merged into a single supercontinent called Pangaea, surrounded by a vast ocean named Panthalassa. This planet was teeming with life, hosting creatures both magnificent and terrifying. When we think of prehistoric times, images of a T-Rex rampaging through dense forests might come to mind. However, before the reign of dinosaurs, Earth was home to other colossal beings that ruled the land. At that time, our planet was emerging from an ice age, with temperatures significantly cooler than what we experience today. But as the Permian unfolded, the Earth gradually warmed, transforming into a fertile haven that fostered the rapid evolution of plants, insects, and animals. Yet, as history has proven, nothing on Earth remains constant. Over the next 50 million years, the planet became increasingly hotter and drier, leading to one of the most devastating events in Earth's history, the Great Dying. This catastrophic mass extinction wiped out nearly every species, making it the deadliest event our world has ever seen. But before diving into the grim details of this event, let's take a step back and explore the incredible biodiversity of the Permian period, a time when some of the most astonishing species began to roam the planet. If you were to travel back nearly 300 million years, you would find yourself in the heart of Pangaea, a colossal landmass that covered about 1/3 of Earth's surface. The smaller continents had collided to form this supercontinent, which would have offered you a vastly different atmosphere. Oxygen levels were lower than today, but breathing might still have been possible. Oh, and don't forget to pack warm clothing. It was chilly, with some regions averaging just 4 degrees Celsius. But the climate didn't stay cold for long. By the end of the early Permian, the Ice Age was retreating, and Pangaea was evolving into a lush environment. Plants and animals began to flourish, thriving amidst a volatile world of intense volcanic activity. These eruptions reshaped the landscape and created conditions for evolutionary progress. As Earth's environment evolved, so did its plant life. Around 290 million years ago, the first seed-bearing plants, known as gymnosperms, appeared. These ancient plants, capable of spreading their seeds via cones, rapidly colonized the supercontinent, transforming the landscape into dense evergreen forests. Amid this vibrant greenery, you'd encounter some surprisingly familiar sights: prehistoric cicadas and beetles, busily piercing and feeding on plants. However, these ancient insects were far from ordinary. Prehistoric cockroaches, for instance, were massive, reaching the size of small birds. But oversized cockroaches weren't the dominant life forms of the time. Instead, Pangaea was ruled by extraordinary reptiles, like the Dimetrodon. This creature, a distant ancestor of modern mammals, was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Measuring up to 5 meters in length and weighing over 225 kilograms, it boasted a distinctive sail along its back, believed to help regulate its body temperature. This apex predator's mix of sharp and flat teeth allowed it to slice and crush prey with ease. Encountering one in the wild would have been nothing short of a nightmare. As the Permian advanced, other mammal-like reptiles, known as therapsids, rose to prominence. These creatures ranged in size and diet, from the omnivorous Diictodon to the carnivorous Lycaenops. Their unique upright stance, with legs positioned beneath their bodies, set them apart from their sprawling reptilian relatives and hinted at the evolutionary paths that would eventually lead to mammals. During the Middle Permian, Earth's climate grew even hotter, with average temperatures on Pangaea reaching 25 degrees Celsius. Volcanic eruptions continued to pump greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, reshaping ecosystems and causing sea levels to shift. Despite these changes, marine life thrived. Ancient sharks and bony fish dominated the seas, alongside a host of other fascinating marine creatures adapted to their ever-changing environments. As the Permian period progressed, the land and seas teemed with diverse life forms. In the late Permian, one of the more peculiar land creatures you might encounter was Lystrosaurus. This herbivorous reptile, about a meter long, resembled a blend between a pig and a lizard. With its strong front legs, it was well adapted for burrowing, a useful skill for escaping predators or harsh conditions. Another fascinating creature that emerged was the cynodont, a small mammal-like reptile roughly the size of a modern rodent. With whiskers and sharp teeth, it likely preyed on insects and small animals. These creatures were among the early forerunners of mammals, showcasing traits that would later define the group. But while life continued to adapt and thrive, the Earth's environment was undergoing a dramatic shift. Volcanic activity increased significantly, spewing massive amounts of carbon dioxide and ash into the atmosphere. Oxygen levels plummeted, potentially dropping to just 10%, making it difficult for most creatures to breathe. Meanwhile, global temperatures soared to an average of 28 degrees Celsius, turning what was once a lush, thriving world into an increasingly inhospitable oven. The stage was set for one of the most devastating events in Earth's history, the Great Dying. Around 252 million years ago, nearly 90% of all plant and animal life on the planet was wiped out. This catastrophic mass extinction, which marked the end of the Permian period, remains a subject of intense scientific investigation. Most theories point to explosive volcanic eruptions as the primary cause. The vast amounts of ash released into the atmosphere likely blocked sunlight, plunging the planet into darkness and causing global temperatures to plummet. Without sunlight, plants, the foundation of nearly every food chain, began to die off. As plants disappeared, herbivores and subsequently, carnivores followed suit. As if the loss of sunlight and cooler temperatures weren't devastating enough, the volcanic activity had a second, even deadlier effect. The immense amounts of carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere created a greenhouse effect after the initial cooling. Global temperatures didn't just return to their earlier levels, they soared even higher. This rapid warming disrupted ecosystems further, making survival nearly impossible for most species. In the oceans, the situation was equally dire. As temperatures rose, oxygen levels in the water plummeted. This phenomenon, known as ocean anoxia, made it nearly impossible for marine creatures to survive. The once thriving superocean lost the majority of its life. By the end of this event, over 95% of marine species and more than 70% of land species had been wiped out. The Permian period ended with this unparalleled tragedy, the worst mass extinction in Earth's history. Yet, it was not the end of life. The survivors of the Great Dying paved the way for the next chapter in our planet's story, the Mesozoic Era, better known as the Age of Dinosaurs. This massive reset of life on Earth serves as a stark reminder of how fragile ecosystems can be. It's a testament to both the destructive power of natural forces and the resilience of life itself. The Permian period was a time of incredible transformation, evolution, and eventually renewal, a chapter in Earth's history that continues to captivate and inform us about the forces shaping our planet. That's how the Earth survived its most catastrophic event and evolved into the planet we know today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more incredible journeys. You won't want to miss what's coming next. See you in the next video.